Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Solving Standard. This week I have a really sweet deck I'm playing. It's essentially blue mill or blue dredge, if you want to call it that, in Standard. So it's basically a mono blue with a little touch of black deck. It revolves around self-mill. So normally you want to just be filling up your graveyard as quickly as possible. We've got 4 copies of Creeping Chill, which we know that's in Modern Dredge, right? Goes into your graveyard from your library, and you get the chill trigger, or alternatively, you can potentially hardcast it. We have 4 copies of Arclight Phoenix, so this is the really big payoff card. We're hoping to just get a ton of Arclights into our graveyard and then play some blue instants and sorceries, which we've got a ton of in our deck to bring these Arclights back. And we also have 4 copies of Narcomoeba. So these are the 3 payoff self-mill cards, basically. You can get these essentially free 1/1 flyers onto the battlefield when Narcomoeba is milled. So, alright, let's talk about the mill aspect of the deck. We've got 4 Drown Secrets, so this is the key card of the deck. You really want to have Drown Secrets on turn 2, pretty much regardless of the matchup. It's just great. It allows you to snowball your other blue spells and just fill up your graveyard really quickly. Four copies of Discovery Dispersal. So we're mostly just casting the Discovery. Surveil is a great way of getting cards into your graveyard. And then it's a cantrip. We want to be cantripping so that we constantly have spells we can cast every single turn. Radical Idea, similarly, it's just a card that if it goes to your graveyard off of the mill, you can replay it. So it gives you essentially more instants to be able to get your Arclight Phoenixes back, which is super important. Mission Briefing is a nice card. Also with Surveil, we can play some of our 1-mana spells off of it. And we've got a bunch of 1-mana cards, actually. Merfolk's Secret Keeper. So this is a new addition to the deck. You can cast the Venture Deeper, which is the adventure, to mill 4, but you also get this 0/4, which can be pretty relevant against the aggressive decks to kind of hold off the early game until you get some more mills going. 4 copies of Opt, really sweet blue cantrip. We see a lot of in these sorts of blue decks. Unsummon. Now that's our interaction spell, but we have to be playing cheap blue instants, and Unsummon fits the bill nicely. 1 copy of Maximize Altitude for the jump start. So this is a main deck that I saw Canister playing, and I have tuned the sideboard to my liking. Been playing the deck a lot myself. Got some Aether Gust against Gruul, it comes in a decent amount against green and red decks. Cerulean Drake. Red aggressive decks have been a problem just because they are so fast. Sometimes you don't have enough time to get your self-mill package going. So Cerulean Drake, the best card against mono red. Disdainful Stroke, Negate, Mystical Dispute. That is our counterspell package. Couple copies of Ashiok for some additional mill, and then it's good against the Field of the Dead decks that are wanting to search their library. And then Jace, Welder of Mysteries. An alternate win condition. There's going to be decks that have ways to fight your Arclight Phoenix plan. And against those decks, you really want another way to win. And Jace, Welder of Mysteries, perfect card because we are milling our own library. We can easily just mill ourselves out. So that is the Blue Mill deck, and I'm going to be playing it. Super excited to showcase the deck because it is unlike any other standard deck I have played in quite a while. But you do have to mulligan somewhat aggressively with the deck because, as I mentioned earlier, the most important card is Drown Secrets by quite a wide margin. Like, you don't want Arclights or Creeping Chills or Narcomoebas in your opening hand. You'd much rather have them in your library buried somewhere to be able to mill them. So I'm actually starting at number 5 Mythic, so I've been doing well with the deck. This is a hand, like I was saying earlier, we want the Arclights in our library, and it has no Drown Secrets. So even though we had 3 lands and some spells, I just think that that's a mulligan. This one is also no Drown Secrets, the most important card. It's not exciting, but it is a 6. With 3 lands. We would put the Narcomoeba back if we kept this one, not knowing the matchup. I think I'm going to go to 5, though. Well, we're mulliganing for Drown Secrets at this point. We found one. Ended up taking more mulligans than I wanted to take. I think we're just going to keep these 4 cards. And this is arguably our best hand that we've seen, despite it being 4 cards, because we have the Drown Secrets on turn 2. And, you know, we'll be able to cast it. We'll be able to play Magic with this hand. Discovery, I like keeping that because it's a really nice cantrip style effect, but it looks like we're playing against a Jeskai deck of some variety here. Probably Jeskai Fires. So we want to get the ball rolling here. With this Discovery, we mill to maximize altitude. Don't need more lands. So, in the early going, things are not really working out, unfortunately. Just pretty mediocre start for us. But if we draw another cantrip, that would be really nice. Right. Okay, so we did draw a mission briefing. Our opponent has a fire, so we know we can definitely cast this unimpeded. And there's an Arclight. Get the Narcomoeba into the graveyard. That's going to come back. We can go ahead and Discovery. So we're milling a decent amount of cards. And we're hoping to get another spell or 2 off this Discovery, but we don't want these lands, unfortunate to see those. And we haven't found any Radical Ideas, so we've gone through a decent portion of our deck without finding Radical Ideas. 38 cards left in library. No ops. We've just been basically milling all lands. So, not looking great. There is potential for us to bring back the Arclight next turn, but we would need to start with a card draw spell. And we might just be dead here. I guess we're not just dead. They're holding back the Cavalier. Well, I'm just going to block. Okay, we could maximize altitude. The idea with making this play is we're hoping to mill a Radical Idea. So we have to target one of our, we're hoping to mill a Radical Idea so that we can cast that. Unfortunately, we did not. So we're just gonna have a bunch of these Narcomoebas out there, which is not optimal. Just a really weak draw overall from the blue mill deck, and it is a combo deck of sorts. So sometimes this happens, and you basically just don't get the ball rolling, which is... Our opponent has also just had a really good draw this game. So I think we're dead. Maybe we're not. Actually, we're at 3. Okay, here's an opt. So if we draw and summon, the issue with that is we don't have another spell to cast after it, so we just have to hope to find like a cantrip there, which we did not. Alright, well, I like the counter spells in this matchup. So we're going to board in all of those. Ashiok is reasonable as another... Ashiok and Jace are both reasonable, but we have to be kind of worried about taking out too much in a matchup like this. The Secret Keepers, the unsummons, some of this stuff isn't that great because we're not playing against a super aggressive deck. Like we saw them winning with like Cavaliers and stuff. So yeah, we're gonna make some changes. I think I'm just gonna go down to 1 Narcomoeba because we're really just trying to win with Creeping Chill and Arclights. And I'm gonna try the Jaces on the play. I don't know that we can afford to play them on the draw. But Planeswalkers like Ashiok and Jace, super powerful if we can get them down. Unfortunately, not enough lands to really play with that. This hand, I think we keep. We're gonna be on the Jace plan. Hopefully we want to just play to getting a turn 4 Jace down. I'm gonna opt here. So we'll probably keep. Yeah, we're just gonna keep the lands. All right. So well, we have 4 lands. That's the good news with Jace. We can stroke basically most of the most powerful cards in the Fires decks do end up costing 4, but if we tap out for Jace, that means we do leave the shields down a little bit here. So it might just be better to pass the turn. Or if we go for Jace, like the problem is it might get countered, so it's a pretty difficult spot. I'm just gonna pass because we have this stroke available to us. If they simply go for a Fires, we get to counter and then play Jace on the next turn. Okay, in this case, actually, I'm just going to go for Ashiok because we have this. If this gets countered, we can live with it, and then we have the. And they did have the counter spell, so we have the stroke to be able to counter whatever this is. Cavalier, great. We want to disdainful stroke that. Now we drew a mission briefing, but I think we just take the opportunity to get the Jace down. Start drawing some cards. We can Radical Idea end of turn. The Radical Idea is also a good way to get the Arclight Phoenix into the graveyard. Oh god, that is a beating. Okay. Well, Kenrith gets in there. And it's exactly enough to take Jace out.
This isn't over until we figure out a solution.
So that was pretty much worst case scenario for us that last turn. When our opponent cast that Kenrith. I think we just want a radical idea. Not having a Drown Secrets is kind of a problem. But I'm going to briefing. Alright, well we finally found one. So I guess we just pick these up and then opt, but I'm pretty worried about this Kenrith potentially beating us. But we get to get our Phoenix back and start getting the ball rolling. This is kind of late for the Drown Secrets to arrive to the party. So we'll see what our opponent does. I mean, Kenrith can gain our opponent 5 life a turn. They can just go for this Cavalier, which is also pretty bad news. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Alright, well, gotta try at least, even though it's not looking good. Just gonna bin those. Because our plan A and our plan B have basically failed us, so we're just trying to get some Creeping Chills. Maybe an Unsummon would be valuable here to draw off the top of our deck. Oh, well, we found Unsummon. That's interesting. So, well, we only milled one Arclight so far. If we unsummon... Okay, and the Arclight that's already in play. The issue with unsummoning right now is our opponent could just recast something. And... yeah, so I think we actually just attack. We're hoping for no counter. And the plan is going to be to unsummon one of these. Yeah, one of these creatures, basically. Alright, well, that was... guess that's lethal. Yeah, I guess that's lethal. Unless we can mill a... our out here is to... if we mill a Creeping Chill, we actually win. I think we win if we mill a Creeping Chill. So we're just hoping for a chill. We've got 3 of them left in our deck, 25 cards. So we've actually got a decent chance at it. We missed it. Alright, well, that would have been insane if we had actually milled the chill. Unfortunately, we just got another Arclight there. Painful match, but our draws did not line up particularly well. Can't control it. Can't control the draws or the matchups. I am bringing you... what if we mull the 4, we mull the 4, and that's magic. Definitely beat in the Jeskai deck plenty of times with the blue mill. Alright, we're on the play. I think we send this one back. It doesn't have any cantrips or a drowned secret, so pretty easy mulligan. This one is a pretty easy keep. Finally, we have a Drown Secrets. I'm just going to put back the Maximize Altitude. It's kind of a flex slot in the deck. And the question is, do we actually want to Secret Keeper ourselves here, or do we want to wait till we have a Drown Secrets out? And I think it's actually close. Yeah, I'm going to wait until we have the Drown Secrets, because it's another 2 cards into the graveyard. Although the advantage to Secret Keepering is that we can Mission Briefing on turn 3, but yeah, I think this is fine. Our opponent's also playing a blue deck of some variety. What is this? Oh my god. You're joking. Is this really happening? It's the mirror match? Alright, well, we're gonna have to be careful about our library, because we could get milled out by our opponents. But right now we want to just try to get Arclights into our graveyard and stuff like that. And we can Mission Briefing this Opt next turn, which is fine. Oh, okay, so they're not playing the exact same version. Here's a Wall of Lost Thoughts. So they're going. This is going to be interesting because our opponent's milling us, and we're also milling ourselves. That is tough to make complete sense of. Maybe we don't fire off this Mission Briefing right now. Like, I'm not sure who we're milling, and I'm also not sure that we can spiral it into a Arclight here. So I kind of want to let our opponent do some of the work for us. And like, we've got 37 cards left in the... Yeah, so we're just going to let... If our opponent wants to go on this plan of milling us, I'm actually fine with that happening and just sitting on this briefing until we have more... Because our hand is not that good, first of all. We want a Radical Idea in the graveyard. We want more stuff in our graveyard. So I think we're fairly okay with this. We just have to be careful, but like there's a chance we can just kill our opponent next turn. The deck is capable of that. And so, I mean, I think this has to favor us. Half of our deck is gone. So all right, I'm going to go for the Mission Briefing. And I think we want to find like a Radical Idea or something additional. So we're going to mill ourselves. Okay, there's a Radical Idea. Perfect. So we've actually found enough stuff now that we might not even have to mill any of this. I guess we put the Radical Idea in the graveyard. No. Yeah. We put the Radical Idea in the graveyard. And just cast an Opt. And now we can just start... We can start being careful in milling our opponent. We've got 24 cards left in the deck. And we're gonna get the Arclights back this turn. So our opponent's not playing self-mill, they're playing actual mill. And so this is gonna be 11. And we still have Creeping Chills that our opponent can force us to mill chills. So there's a chill. And I don't think they're going to be able to mill us out on the very next turn. They could double and summon. Okay. So we only get in for 5 damage. I was hoping to get in for more, but 19 cards left in library. Seems like it's plenty to do the trick there. I'm gonna board a Mystical Dispute. If our opponent's still on the milling us out plan, we probably do just want our Jaces. Don't know about Ashiox. Could be an interesting choice to play those. Negate. Kind of like the idea of negates. But I would assume our opponent is forced to switch up their game plan, because I don't really think that their plan of milling us out actually is like a reasonable plan. Because we just have so much stuff that is good in our graveyard. So I'm going to take out on summon because we didn't really see creatures we want to be bouncing. Seems like a really good matchup. But it's possible our opponent has a interesting sideboard plan. So we're keeping this, putting that chill on the bottom. I'll be interested to see if our opponent is on the same exact plan. Which looks like they are. They're on the same plan. We want to drown secrets, I guess. But I'll take... I guess we don't even want Discovery. Because we already have one. Get a Narcomoeba out. Now, does our opponent still try to mill us? Wow. So they didn't change their strategy at all. That's what it looks like. They're just still going to try to mill us out, which means we can just sit back. Don't necessarily... Like, if our opponent's milling us, we don't have to do very much. Could just cast this Narcomoeba, I guess. Like, if they're gonna do the work, why should we... Yeah, why should we do it if they're already doing it for us? So I guess we want to set up for next turn. Because we want to set up to be able to get an Arclight back. Or get multiple Arclights back. So we're gonna pitch this Arclight to a radical idea. And then we should be good. We should be able to do it. I guess they could counter this, but seems like not the best strategy. So we want land here. I don't think we want either of these. Take this Narcomoeba trigger. So I guess the question with these Secret Keepers, because I think we want to just double Secret Keeper, is who are we milling? And I think it's just our opponent here. Because we've got 28 cards, really no need to go too deep into our own deck. We're just playing these to play 2 spells to get our Arclights back. And we have 3 Arclights in the graveyard, so we're just going to have a bunch of flyers that our opponent is unlikely to have an answer for. Okay, well, that's pretty annoying. to double and summon. Because we aren't guaranteed to be able to do the same thing next turn. Because we don't have... Well, I guess we if we have a land, we can potentially... We can Radical Idea, pitch one of these Arclights, potentially get there that way. I mean, yeah. I think we're cleared for takeoff. Because we can just mission briefing a 1-mana spell. And I'm pretty sure we have like an opt or something. Yeah, we have opt. So I guess it doesn't really matter what we do with the surveil. We'll keep both of those, get the opt. Opt is our 3rd spell for turn. And income the Arclights. So that seems like the best, almost the best possible matchup for us that I could think of. But you know, the thing is let's not underestimate our opponent's deck, because Mill is a reasonable plan against Golos. Index with like Krasis, with lots of search, slow decks, like that is what Golos is. So our opponent's deck probably does have a very reasonable Golos matchup. So no, we're not auto mulliganing hands with no drown secrets. This is a close one, but I am gonna keep it because we have opt and discovery. And yeah, the maximize altitude might not be great, but we can pitch the Arclight to get it out of our hand. It's a 1-mana spell. Okay, here's a Gilded Goose to kick things off. So we could Watery Grave tap to save us a couple damage and then Discovery. I think that's fine. We're just gonna... I mean, it gives us less Drown Secrets on turn 2 outs, but having a 1-mana spell for potentially getting Arclight back is pretty nice as well. We're just gonna have to hope to dodge an insane start here. Like, if our opponent goes ahead and plays an Oko, that would be pretty bad. Or if they have a turn 3 Nissa, that's pretty bad. But we're just going to continue on with our plan, which is Discovery. Don't really want either of these that much. Still looking for mostly Drown Secrets. Because that's... Alright, well... It's bad draw. Bad draw. We can just mission briefing on summon, but that's not anything too exciting. Could be like a questing beast coming down. I think it's going to be questing beast. And there it is. So maybe mission briefing on summon is our best option here. Or we can discovery. Tough spots. Mission briefing on summon buys us some time. We do have to take 2 damage here, but I'm gonna do it. Pretty easy to put those both away. We'll get our Creeping Chill trigger here. And yes, they might just replay the Questing Beast, they might have a Planeswalker, but saving that 4 damage, pretty relevant here.
Revel with your king, wild and sovereign and free. Surely you must be famished.
Really have to find a way to get something going. A land isn't actually the worst here. All right, I'm gonna keep the land. I mean, Secret Keeper, we can Secret Keeper ourselves this turn if we draw it. And then we have a random 0-4. Yeah, I guess I'll do that because we want to hit an Arclight into our graveyard with this optimally. Because this is our 3rd spell for turn. Unfortunately, we did not. We milled Drown Secrets. We milled. Yeah, we haven't milled anything good. Not having a drown, like if we had, I mean, the games when you have Drown Secrets and the games when you don't have Drown Secrets are so different. This could be a reasonable blocker. Like our opponent's probably going to make a 3/3 with this food, and having the Secret Keeper out there is fine against that. But it's still a lot of damage. Looks like 9. Yeah, 9 damage.
And put on your true shape.
So we're gonna need a pretty insane turn. I think it starts with drawing a Drown Secrets to get a bunch more cards in the graveyard. Unsummon. So we can bounce the Questing Beast with Unsummon. But I don't know if that's going to cut it. Yeah, we're going to put that on the bottom. Yikes. Well, not giving up just yet. Creeping Chill plus Unsummon, so... we're just gonna put those in the graveyard. We get to... Could just cast the unsummon, but... So if we unsummon the food... Could unsummon the food. But it might be better just to opt into a land. What? So what happens if we... Alright, I guess I'm just gonna unsummon the food. Don't think we're in a good spot either way. So let's get the food out of here. Pretty not great turn for us, all things be told. We've drawn the wrong half of our deck, but I mean, it can happen. Obviously, we see it can happen, but it's frustrating when it does. This just might be a crisis. Probably is. Probably is a crisis. I mean, they have 9 damage. Without doing anything, and they can just make a 3/3 and hit us for 9. And as expected, Crisis is going to put our opponent up to 13. We're going to take some damage.
Surely you see the humor here.
Draw step is a basic land. Alright, we're going to go to the next one. Go to the next one here. Aether Gust and Mysticals are the two cards I'm looking at the most. I think we definitely want the Gus. I normally just cut the maximize altitude because it is kind of a flex slot. I don't think I'm gonna board in the Mysticals, although yeah, I don't think I'm boarding those in. Just gonna make some minor adjustments to the deck and hope to have a turn 2 Drown Secrets. Because if we do that, I'll be feeling much better. Yep, that's the turn 2 Drown Secrets, what we were looking for. Pretty clear keep. I guess they got the goose. So we're both players off to a pretty good start so far. We can fire off this Aether Gust if we want to. Aggressively use it. Alright, well, it looks like they are short on mana. So that's good news. I'm just gonna hold up the Aether Gust. We kind of want to hit the Paradise Druid with it once it taps for mana. But we're fine with just Radical IDing. Also, just a generally great spot to be in. Feeling good about how this is going. And that is kind of sweet. We're just gonna cast that. They could have a mystical, but that's fine. If they do, we'll just gust the Paradise Druid. And if they don't, that works as well. Just pass. And if they make a food, we also want to be gusting here. They probably have to put that on bottom. So if they draw land, they could play an Oko. I guess that's worst case scenario. Wow, another Drown Secrets. Do we even cast that here? I don't even think we cast it. I'm just gonna get it back in Arclight. At least one Arclight this turn. We can go mission briefing into mission briefing. If we want to. I think that's the plan. So I'm just gonna briefing again. Looking for more Arclights, almost exclusively. There's one. Now we cast a 1 mana card, opt. And we see how very, very different this game is than from the last game. Just night and day. I mean, we've gone through 2/3 of our deck, basically, at this point. And we've got 2 chills left, so... Our opponent's basically dead. So we have a game 3 on our hands. And I'm just going to run it back. Don't think we're changing anything based on play draw. That was a great hand, though. Great hand for us, and a worse hand for our opponent has basically made for 2 relatively lopsided games. But there's not that much enchantment removal in this format. There's a few counterspells, but that our opponent could have, like Mystical for the Drown Secrets. So this one, Creeping Chill, Narcomoeba, those ones we don't want to see. I think we're fine mulliganing and taking one more shot at the Drowned Secrets, which we found. So this is a pretty good hand. Kind of want to just put the land back. Pretty good 6. Can't really ask for too much more on a 6. Ah, they have the goose is back. It is back in action. I'm just gonna play this tapped. We're gonna hold the opt for the turn, for a turn when we have the Drowned Secrets out. But, you know, if they just jam an Oko, that's the best possible start. They don't have one. If they counter this, we have a second Drowned Secrets, so it's not the end of the world. They do have the Mystical Dispute, which means they cannot generate a food as well, so they might have Questing Beast coming down, which would be fine, I think, because we have Secrets plus on Summon. So I think we want to be unsummoning during our opponent's turn here. So that if we unsummon right now, the easy play is to just replay the beast. Now this could get blown out by like Veil of Summer or a counterspell, but just gambling that our opponent doesn't have something like that. It's a good mill. It's a great mill. And there's the Veil of Summer. Basically worst possible for us. So we're not bouncing the Questing Beast at all. It's pretty unfortunate. Could have done it on our turn to protect against the Veil. Obviously regretting that. Found another Drowned Secrets, but if we play that, it means we're not getting an Arclight back, which we already have one in the graveyard. So the question is, do we care? How much do we care about getting the Arclight back this turn? So we can just play a Drowned Secrets. I mean, having this in play is really nice. I think I'm gonna go for it. Just gonna play another Drowned Secrets and just pass. That way next turn we probably can cast all 3 of these spells and make a lot of stuff happen. 46, so 46 cards in library. It's 12 cards milled off the Drowned Secrets triggered. 2 off the Surveil is 14, 18. So, yeah, I mean, we're milling like a lot of cards next turn. A lot of cards. And that might not have even been the right math. 4/4 Krasis though is annoying. But we don't want to opt end of turn. We want to save it. want either of those. As expected, we're milling a bunch of cards. Do we want to keep this discovery for next turn? I think so. So this is going to be another 8. I guess the question here is, do we get in there with the Arclights? Because we know that the Krasis can block 1. Would put our opponent down to 11. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. They can't kill us with the 2 Narcomoebas back. I don't think they can just straight up kill us. Leaving them on defense means we can protect against a questing beast attack. But I normally, like, we're kind of playing this pretty aggressively. Our opponent just passing is kind of scary, because they can make a food with the goose. I'm gonna discover here. We want to find another land to be able to go mission briefing, +1 mana spell, but we're also gambling our opponent doesn't have a counter spell. So if they counter this, we have to go on a different plan. Well, they didn't counter it. 18 cards left in deck. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna mission briefing. And we have an unsummon in the graveyard. Multiple unsummons that we can use. So we're on 12 cards left in deck. I'm just going to unsummon the Krasis. But we'll see if they have something. There's another Arclight. So we're gonna be getting back 3 Arclights. Or 2 Arclights, because we already have 1 in play. Pretty sweet turn. See what our opponent does with this goose. Chomp, make a food, sack a food. They're certainly not dead this turn, but we put ourselves in a really nice position for next turn, where we're hoping to win next turn. That would be nice. So yeah, I think we're probably gonna win next turn, unless something unexpected happens. And we still have 1 more chill, 1 more Arclight in our deck. 6 cards left, or no, 8 cards left. Did I say 6? 8. left in library. So this turn we can go to 0 cards, you know, if we want to. So they're just playing a Krasis as like a last ditch, last resort, essentially. So yeah, despite our opponent they had a mystical and they had a Veil of Summer that got us that game, we still won. So it shows that the deck can fight through some interaction, you know. They had the turn 1 Goose, they had a turn 3 Questing Beast, solid draw from our opponent. And I just enjoy playing this deck. I really do. Back to number 6. So maybe if I win this one, I'll. It's much more difficult to climb up the ladder than it is to decline once you get into the higher numbers. So close hand. Once again, no Drowned Secrets, the card we're looking for the most. I think I'm going to send this back and go to 6. And we're on 6 already, so I'm just going to suck it up. This hand is basically, it's very similar to our 7. But you don't always have the Drowned Secrets. Sometimes you have to try to win without it, even though you always want it. I think we just Discovery, although we could Merfolk Secret Keeper, just mill 4 and then play it to just have an 0-4 body out there for the Gutter Bone. So maybe that's better. Yeah, I guess I talked myself into that. Okay, and we also got an Narcomoeba back, so actually this is working fine. Pretty good start against an aggro deck. Have the Gutter Bones kind of colded here. I think we're just blocking with Secret Keeper. And I guess they could have a Blacklands Paragon, so maybe I shouldn't have gone to combat. I'm just not going to attack, actually. Sure. It's not. This game hasn't played out super fast, so maybe we have time to opt in mission briefing. It's fine. Just gonna continue blocking with our 0-4. Now we drew Discovery, so I kind of wanted Discovery instead of mission briefing. I think I'm going to do that. Take 1 land so we have a land drop for turn. Just going to cast this Radical Idea. Kind of play this game the hard way, more or less. We're going to block the Gutter Bones to just play around the Blacklands Paragon. Maybe that's wrong. responds to that. So we pitch a card. I guess we'll just exile Narcomoeba. Unsummon is an interesting one. But we really don't know how much time we actually have to do all of this stuff. Because we haven't found our key cards yet, unfortunately. I think I'm just going to put these in the graveyard. And Discovery. Alright, there's Drowned Secrets. So we can draw that for next turn. Do we want to attack with Narcomoeba? I'm going to hold it back to block. Interested to see what our opponent's going to do this turn. Okay, they had Blackland Paragon. Just trying to play around it. Never had a great chance to play around it. So we could Mission Briefing plus Opt. Yeah, I'm gonna start with the briefing. Still no Arclight Phoenixes. We could unsummon something. Don't know that that's getting us where we want to get to though. I'm gonna try for this Opt play. Okay. Narcomoeba. Land. Guess I'll keep the land on top. I'm just gonna burn this Maximize Altitude to try to find a Arclight. It's kind of a desperation play almost, but did not work. So we'll just block the Paragon, soak up some damage. Huh. Yeah, we're pretty much dead. We can draw maybe a max. We can mill it into a maximize, or into a radical idea, but we did not. So this is not a matchup where we're sideboarding much at all. We're just hoping for a better draw than we had last game. Not going to sideboard. We can just not sideboard. We have that. Like, this is a matchup. Black aggro. Black aggro isn't. It's lost some popularity. We have a fine matchup. We didn't like. This is a combo deck where sometimes you just fizzle out and lose to your own deck, which like. We just saw somewhat can happen. Now, what's worrisome is that our opponent, they can bring in cards like Duress, or the discard spells means that games 2 and 3 are actually more difficult than game 1. At least in theory. So we can go Secret Keeper into Discovery. I think that's good enough. We might even want to hold some Secret Keepers in hand. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this one. Like, there's a chance we want to hold on to these. Like, we want a Discovery next turn, I think. Just because they're 1-mana spells that can trigger the Arclights. I'm gonna fire this one off. And we get an Narcomoeba immediately, so that's relevant for sure. Did mill over Drowned Secrets. The 0-4 is fine. It's a little bit awkward against the Blacklands Paragon, which we did see last game. Yeah, just graveyarding those, I think. Yep. Yorick's Fenlurker. We actually have, like, normally we would have something we want to get rid of. I'm just going to get rid of the maximize altitude, because we have nothing we, like, want to super get out of our hand here. I mean, we already have one mission briefing. I think that's enough. Just gonna mill those. I think we just play the Secret Keeper as well. As a blocker. Oh no. Oh god. Oh, that's so disgusting. Wow. I cannot believe that. I wasn't even... I guess I should have been thinking about that more. Oh, that's such a blowout. Wow. Alright, that was rough. That was really rough. We're just gonna get this Arclight back. So rough. I mean, that was basically, well, I guess it wasn't a full 3-for-1, but that's kind of how. Yeah, I guess it was kind of a 3-for-1. So I'm gonna hold back the Narcomoeba. I guess they can Legion's End this and get our Narcomoeba out of our hand. Which they're gonna do. Obviously. The blowouts continue. Actually, let's opt. And alright. Still digging. Well, now we We have nothing that we care about getting discarded, so we might as well hit our opponent for 3 damage. Just gonna hope to get pretty lucky here. And that was not pretty lucky. I think I'll just block the Fenlooker. That was a good draw step. That was a good draw step. Wow. Wow. Okay. We're still in this. It feels like this has been a terrible game for us, but we're still in this. Drew a mission briefing, which was kind of the perfect draw. So we can briefing into another briefing, which I think is what we should do. So that's going to guarantee getting an Arclight back. Could go for unsummon. I think we should go for discovery. If we had milled a radical idea, we would have just won. So we could pitch the Arclight, because we have 2 Arclights in the graveyard. And there is a radical idea. I guess we'll draw that for next turn. So we get 2 Phoenixes back. I mean, I think we're still gonna win here, actually. Yeah, I think we're still gonna win. That's crazy. That was crazy. That was I'm lost. I'm lost for words. I was like, oh, we're dead. We just got racked every single turn, which kind of happened. Maybe I should have played around Legion's End more. But hey, I'll take getting bailed out by our deck. I mean, hey, that's what the deck can do. It is capable of just going from nothing to everything. All right. Keep in our Drowned Secrets draw. And just gonna opt here. I think we want another land, primarily. Primarily want another land. So we can actually bounce that here, which we probably want to do. First, I'm going to mill 6, 2 from the Drowned Secrets, and then also... So no Arclights yet. Yeah, we're going to unsummon this. Just a really nice tempo swing. And we can just play the 0-4. Pretty good. Pretty good that we have blockers for the Gutter Bones now. Guess I should Radical Idea. What else are we gonna do? So yeah, that's gonna be it for this turn. Let our opponents get untapped with the spawn, which is dangerous to some extent. Okay. So Drill Bits isn't actually that great against our current hand. Just gonna take the chill. Well, I want to see what we draw into before making the decision on what to do about this Rankle. Don't know that we care about the sack or the discard or the draw on it, so maybe we just take this. Maybe afford to take one hit. Yeah, I'm gonna take the hit. I'm gonna gamble a little bit and see what happens. If our opponent chooses to do anything with it. Okay, so they're going for the discard and the creature sacrifice. Just gonna keep the flyers. Another copy of Drowned Secrets. It's not too bad. Yeah, maybe I should have just jumped with Narcomoeba. I guess we don't really need to do anything else here. I'm just gonna pass. No. I guess we could draw into Unsummon. We can pitch the Maximize Altitude. If we drew into Unsummon, we would actually want to cast that. Or like an Opt maybe. If they have a Legion's End, which they almost certainly don't, but it would be a huge blowout if they did. Because if they had one, they probably would have cast it last turn. Garrick's Fenlurker. I think we just pitch a Radical Idea here because we already have 2 in the graveyard. Yeah, that's fine. Keep the land. Curious to see if there's going to be some attacks. Yeah, so this time we could actually block with all 3 Narcomoebas. But we are bound to get some Arclights back. Because we've got 1 already in the graveyard. Yeah, I'm actually just going to keep 2 of these Narcomoebas. Because we have the Maximize Altitude. Which is pretty great to have. think we want to draw this mission briefing. So we can go, we now don't have to maximize altitude, we can just cast mission briefing and probably unsummon to bounce the spawn. And in will come the Arclights, and this is game over. We are just gonna kill our opponent this turn. We just have enough. We have enough Arclights in the graveyard, and that was the game. All right. Well, we went 3-1 overall, despite, you know, starting with a mull to 4. Rallied back, and I ended up the same mythic rank I started, so I'll take it. Super, super fun deck. This format is, in fact, more than just Golos and Oko decks. This is something to try out if you're looking for something fun and new. And hey, Mill, it's competitive, it's good, and I'm really enjoying playing with it. Thanks for watching, everyone.